club spaces, it's a really compassionate community. So people want to see you participate. It reminds me a lot of like Black church, where you don't have to have the perfect voice, but if you're going in there and you're really, you're singing from the heart, people will support you. They will affirm you. They will celebrate you. And I think something very similar happens in, not just the physical club venues, but anytime club music making is happening, even when you see the street festivals on streets where you might have just seen extreme violence the other day, if that's occupied by club music and club people, don't touch it. This is a safe space. Don't bring that energy here.
The population of people that used to go to parties dwindled over the years because people moved away, people aged and they kind of got out of hanging out. And also there's a younger crowd that the house music isn't attracting indoors. To go to parties indoors, parties typically start 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and they go up to 2 o'clock. So with that window of time on the Friday or Saturday night, it only allows a few people who are appropriate age and who live next or near certain clubs, driving distance, I should say, to go. And everybody doesn't want to hang out at night, so the outdoor parties allows a wider range of people to come, little kids, some elderly come. And some parties, outdoor parties, generate thousands of people, opposed to indoor parties that may get anywhere from 50 to 200 people.
Lincoln Park is the oldest. And Lincoln Park is now going to 12, 13, something like that. Mm-hmm. And mine is the second oldest. Now, but outdoor events from Coney Island to this, over New York, come on, Prospect Park, but they wasn't calling them festivals, just a party or whatever it was, gathering. Jersey got a little bit more formal with Lincoln Park calling himself a festival. And then I turned around and called my stuff a festival, and now you have an explosion of festivals throughout New Jersey.
Everybody has a festival, You have Waco Park, Linden, East Orange, Jersey City. Lincoln Park pretty much started what is known as the outdoor festival culture in Newark. And behind Lincoln Park, there was a mission to build the area up, not just for house music, but they did it with gospel, they did it with hip hop and R&B.
When I first started with this guy, Speedy Jackson, he has Face to Base. He called me about a permit. Now, I was already thinking about doing something, but he called me about a permit to do music in the park, which was at Branchford Park. He wanted me to do that because I had a relationship with the freeholder, Rufus Johnson, who, by the way, without him, Weequahic Park would have never happened. I called Speedy back and I said, look, he wanted the permit for Branchford Park. Been to Face to Bases, picnics and stuff before that, because to me that's what it was. It was a picnic. They would always do that, but it was music in the park, 7,500 people tops, whatever,
Right.
And so once Rufus said that I had the green light to do something bigger, but we're not doing it at Branchford Park, but I can get you Weequahic Park. I'm the first festival that the county ever sponsored in terms of house music. That's groundbreaking. They looked at house music that it was like a black thing, and we might as well have been R&B and hip hop. That's how skittish they were. I had to go in and sell them. I told him, we can do this. It's not going to be a picnic, Steve. It's going to be a festival. So
look at this.
This was the first year, and this was my lineup. Louis Gorbea, Omar Abdallah,
oh my gosh,
Louis Vega.
This is so good.
Featuring Rochelle Fleming, Colonel Wiggles, and Sharon Brown, my sister. Sharon Brown stayed here. She didn't even stay in the hotel. She stayed here. It's going to be 10 years. Yeah, it's going to be 10 years this year. So 9 years. 9 years is Comb and 10 years overall. And the following year, that was the birth of my organization.
I played, well, the most recent one where I met you was at the Weekway House Music Festival. I also played at Military Park last year with T-Wise. I had fun playing at both of those events because you see the same group of people with a few new faces, same love, you know, and everyone just coming together for one common cause, and that's just music. The house music brings everybody. It brings all cultures and backgrounds, all ethnicities, whatever. It brings everyone together. And that's what I love about house music, is it has that family style to it.
Well, I think we all need to be grateful for the fact that here in Jersey we have more than enough outdoor affairs to choose to go to. There's a lot of talk amongst people sometimes that's too much, but at the end of the day, I think the inside culture has died as far as, especially since COVID happened, but prior to COVID, not so many people were actually going inside to the same place.
While I think that that's good exposure for the music, I've always said that I never wanted it to become too cheap. I don't want it to become like disco music, where it was like disco was the thing, and then next thing you know, Rodney Dangerfield is making a disco record, and it starts to cheapen what the real culture behind, you know, disco was. With the outdoor festivals, you know, it seems like while they are good to have that exposure for our people, you want experienced people behind these festivals. You don't want anybody just trying to cash in to do a festival just because that's the fad to do right now.
Are you gonna have a festival?
I'm not having my own festival. I feel like for me, my festival is inside the club. There's a certain level of comfortability that I have inside the club than I do outside. And I say that to say, in the club, I have a dedicated following of people who come out that I can experiment with. And, you know, if I decide I want to get a little weird one night, then at least they can ride it out with me, you know, whereas outside, I pretty much have to be a little bit more mainstream, you know, for the general audience of people. Because everybody says they're a house head. Sometimes they're a house head, you know, part-time, you know, sometimes they're a house head for like the 3 hours they're in the park. And then you have the die-hard house head. The later you go, the more deeper you can go, because now the commercial crowd's out the way, and now you're playing for your core house head. You know, you always have your different stages of the night. Build up, you know, when you're just coming in and you're trying to get your ear right and your head right. And then you have your peak hours where now you have more people in the club and you want to take it to another level. And then towards the end of the night, you're dying it down a little bit. Outdoors, I have to just have a general style of playing.
One reason I found the club space to be so powerful, especially in Newark, is that there has tended to be this unspoken rule of where club music making is happening, violence does not happen. Leave that out the door. You know, that doesn't belong here. Good vibes only. You know, we're here to dance, to have a good time. And so I think that has always made it so special in Newark, because that is safe, sacred space.
I feel as though the outdoor parties are welcomed. You know, it should be welcomed wholeheartedly, in that actually we need it, because in Jersey, if it wasn't for the outdoor parties, a lot of people wouldn't be exposed to the house music. You know, it's not many radio stations that are playing it. Kids not really beat necessarily, quote unquote. They listen to house music, but when it's presented at a festival during the day, it might allow people to kind of gravitate to it a little bit. So I think that Jersey has a good thing And it tells a lot when you have our fellow friends from New York come over here to our parties.
There has to be an end game to all of these festivals outside of just doing a festival. Where I think we are left behind at is that we haven't learned how to make money from these festivals yet. If you look at, like, let's say for instance, Black Coffee doing an outdoor festival, people are going to pay, like, from what I saw last night, tickets were like between $52 and $64
Right.
and up, you know, where our people have been conditioned to just go to an outdoor festival because it's free. So that means that whoever's doing an outdoor festival now, they have to have sponsorship, you know, in order to be able to pay your DJs, pay your artists, pay your sound people. So I think that we are left behind in that aspect of it. Until we figure out a way to kind of make some money off of this so these things can continue.
Right.
I hate to say this, but I see at some point, if money's not being made, then festivals will start dying off, you know.
This is serious, house heads. This is serious, house heads. Let's talk about house music.
That was very underground, where you had like the Loft and you had like the Paradise Garage, but then Jersey had its own thing as well, like a place called Shanique's.
Zanzibar, those were the original house music foundation in New Jersey.
It's not just about the music. We feed people,
right.
We clothe them. They want to get into a rehab center or a shelter.
I owe my recovery to house music. It's kind of like I got rid of the liquor and I picked up the music.
Much easier to spread the love through house music. Thank God for house music. Lord, Lord, Lord. When we're able to go back in that park and enjoy music without masks, without fear, it'll be like we're experiencing it again for the first time.